So as you guys know, I worked retail for years. The fact that I'm alive today and haven't taken the easy way out is pretty surprising, to be honest. All right. But since I have not eaten a bowl of shotgun shells yet, it's time to tell you guys some of the spiciness that occurred to me years ago when I was just a young, impressionable boy, when I was married and happy and thought the world was my oyster. And then I found out that I'm allergic to oysters. So Black Friday, guys. You guys know working Black Friday is pretty terrifying. It's one of the most terrifying things that's ever existed in life. You get slapped around. People pull their pee-pees out and try to slap you in the face with them, which normally I wouldn't be against, but today I was. It was Black Friday, guys. We had a buy two, get one free, because we always had a buy two, get one free on Black Friday, because that was like the special, right? Of course, that didn't last very long after 2016, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. Now, as you guys know, if you've ever been to any retail place or worked in a retail place, buy two, get one free is equal or lesser value. So you buy something for $30, you can get something for $30 or lesser value. Unfortunately, there's people out there that think that they thought of the thing that no one's ever thought of before, and they could buy a $1 item and get a $1,000 item free. They actually think that. Unfortunately, it's not how it works, baby. Well, one time I was working Black Friday. I was throwing stuff at people. They were throwing money at me. It was hectic as hell, as per usual. I was wanting to die, contemplating going in the back and grabbing the nearest rope, but I did not do that. I was stuck on the register. No time to call it quits, baby. There was no time because I had to serve the customer, unfortunately. This guy comes up to me, all right? And he says he wants the tablet. He wants the tablet that it's like an iPad or something out of the case, because we used to sell, Apple iPads. So I go and get it out of the goofy ass case for him. And then he says he wants the 1-year warranty for it. And I'm like, that's fine. Obviously, it's fine. I don't really understand why you'd want it, to be honest, but it's fine because it's basically free profit for us. Well, I'm like, all right, cool. And then he says to me, oh, and for the buy two, get one free, I want an Xbox 360. Or it might have been an Xbox One. I don't really remember, but it was an Xbox. A used one, because it was on used product. I was like, it's a buy two, get one free. Okay, if I didn't establish that already. So he only bought one thing. He bought an iPad. All right. So you need to buy another thing. The iPad was like, I think $100 or $150. And the Xbox was probably $200 and something. And he was like, oh no, I got the 1-year warranty for the iPad. And I'm like, the 1-year warranty is not an item. It's just a warranty on the iPad. And I was like, so you would have to get another item. And at any rate, the Xbox is the most expensive item. It has to be the cheapest item. And he starts giving me some lip, you know what I'm saying? He starts talking back to me. He's like, oh, well, that's dumb. I want the Xbox free. And I'm not buying anything else. And I'm like kind of laughing it off because, it's whatever. Because I think maybe he's joking. Because I ain't got time for this today. It's kind of like the kill or be killed kind of thing. Like, if I had a knife, you say one wrong word, it's Black Friday, I might go to jail. You know what I'm saying? My advice to you on Black Friday is probably not give the employee any lip, because you might end up dead. Just putting that out there. Guy at the Walmart register, don't yell at him, because he might start cutting people. You want to be cut today? I don't think so. Okay? So he starts getting an attitude with me. And he's like, I'm not leaving the store until you give me an Xbox free. And I'm like, sir, in a very nice manner, because, I can keep it cool, baby. I'm like, sir, look, it doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. Well, you ain't getting it free, boy. You ain't getting the damn thing free. All right? The only way you get an Xbox free is if you give me $250. And then I'll give you the free Xbox. Well, lo and behold, boys and girls, lo and behold, he says he's not getting out of the line, and I'm going to give him a free Xbox. So I have this weird thing, guys. And it gets worse the older I get, all right? When somebody demands that I do something, even if it's something that I wouldn't entirely be against, when somebody demands and says I'm going to do something, I don't know why. It's one of the things that sets me off. So immediately my twig snaps, all right? I have a proverbial twig in my head. And when it snaps, I don't even remember what I say. I just go ham. Well, he said, you're giving me an Xbox. And I was like, oh shit. And then it snapped. And I threw down the stuff. And I was like, you're going to get the hell out of my store right now, or I'm going to carry your ass out of the store. And he was like taken aback. He was taken aback, baby. He was like, what? And I was like, you need to get the hell out of my store right now. And I'm staring at him, and my blood's pumping, and my heart's beating, because I'm ready to throw hands. Like, my twig has snapped. Therefore, there's nothing that can stop the hands, baby. Except there was a counter in the way, so thank God for that. And he was like, oh, and he like cowered down. And he was like, I still want to buy the iPad. I'll just buy the iPad. And I was like, you're not going to buy shit. You're buying nothing. You're leaving. Or else I'm carrying you out of my damn store. I was like, that's what's going to happen. And he gets all like nervousy and like choke up. And he just like puts the iPad down and walks out of the door and was saying stuff under his breath. And then everyone cheered. Not really. Dude, that was the time. I don't remember what year it was, dude. But it was like 2016 or 2015 or something. But dude, it was at that point where I didn't care anymore. Like, I'm just waiting for somebody to say something out of the way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, dude. It was one of those times. And I felt really bad for it, too. This is actually funny. This is actually funny because I told my assistant manager an hour later that I felt so bad for it. I was like, oh, dude, I feel bad for this. I shouldn't have done that. And he was like, no, dude, F that guy. But I felt really bad for it. And I still think about it today, but I don't feel bad anymore. Back then, after it happened, I was like, was I too harsh to guy? Nah, he deserved it. Who cares? But dude, Black Friday was like that too. God, it was awful. There was one year we were running a special for PS5s. And it was PS3s. If you trade in your PS3, you got like $250 towards a PS4. And previously, they'd only get like 100 or 80. So it was a huge deal. And they were running it on Black Friday. So you best believe the first 45 people in line had PS3s during doorbusters, which means there was 1,000 people in line. And I was doing trade-ins that took like 5 to 10 minutes per trade-in on both registers. So after an hour, we only had 4 customers move through the line. Dude, it was awful. I wanted to choke somebody with my hands. I didn't choke nobody, though, because it wasn't their fault. They were just trying to take advantage of the deal. But in my mind, I was choky. I wanted to choke somebody, you know? Like that girl from Tinder. Don't choke the girl from Tinder, guys. If she asks you to choke her, don't do it. Because as soon as you tell you don't want a relationship, you're going to jail. He choked me. I'll be like, she told me to. Cops don't give a damn. They don't care. Oh, she told you to choke her, sir. Yeah, I promise. I promise. You going straight to jail. Straight to jail. Don't pass go. Don't collect no monies. Straight to hell to jail. Don't tell me what to do. This next story, though, boys. This next story. So, after leaving GameStop in the illustrious fashion that I had done, I went to work for Walmart in a contracted out like district manager role for back of store stuff. So it's a position that I don't even think exists anymore. I think they downsized it recently, but I went to work for Walmart, and I worked there for about a year, and it was whatever. It was a pretty terrible job. It's pretty stressful, but it's all good. Life is stressful. I aged about 8 years in a year. I used to have a baby face. Now I got the face of an old, tired man. Got the face of an old, withered man. I had a girl the other day that like has been trying to smash my guts, and I'm not really into that anymore. And she just refers to me as old man, which is weird because she wants to smash me, but she refers to me as old man. She's like, "Hey, old man," and I'm like, "Why do you gotta do that to me? Why you gotta do that? Why do you gotta shame me and then try to bang me? Don't shame me then bang me. Like bang me then shame me. What's up?" This next story, guys. I work at Walmart, and I worked there for about a year, and everything's going well. And then my friend Ashley, which I had a video about at one point in time, my friend Ashley, she called me out of the blue because she still worked at GameStop. And she said my old boss, my district manager, came into her store. He came in with our old regional director. His name was Wade. Wade Dunn. What a man. What a beast. They came into my store. And they were apparently talking about my YouTube, because at this time, dude, every video I put out was like, GameStop. GameStop. And I was just leaking info and going ham as hell, and I just wouldn't stop. So they hated my ass for a while. And he decided to have a conversation with the RD, the regional director. And they said in front of her, because they didn't know, I guess, that she was talking to me at the time. They said in front of her that they were planning on calling the corporate office of my new company to let them know about my YouTube and let them know about how I slander GameStop, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what, guys? Guess what? 2 days later, 2 whole days later, my boss calls me, my new boss, my regional director, because I was a district manager, so my boss was just the regional director. He calls me, boys, and I'm like, hey, man, how you doing? And, I'm stressed out because I didn't like talking to him, to be honest, because he was kind of dumb, and he was, I don't know, he's kind of micromanaging. So he calls me, and I'm like, oh, great, now he's calling me. And he's like, hey, man, so we got to talk about your YouTube channel. And I was like, oh, damn. Because at this time, I had only been full-time on YouTube. Well, I wasn't even really full-time on YouTube, actually. I was just putting out, like, a GameStop video every, week or two. And I put, like, a Walmart video out. Just, kind of, my first days in YouTube was very random and, whatever. And he's like, we got to talk about your YouTube. And I was like, oh, my God. And I had just heard Ashley told me that they were, my old DM and RD was talking about calling my new company's corporate office. Well, out of nowhere, my boss calls me and says, hey, so we got to talk about your YouTube. And let me put out some disclaimer. He was not supposed to tell me this, but he was kind of dumb, so it was whatever. And he was like, yeah, so we got a call, and he wouldn't really elaborate, but it was, he was hinting that it was from GameStop, He's like, we got a call and found out about your YouTube, and we got to have a talk about this. Because it's against policy to blah, 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 that to even mention anything about your job, while you're on YouTube or whatever, or on any social media, which has changed now. Now they want you to dance on TikTok when you work at retail stores. Like, hey, dude, make some TikToks about Walmart. It's like, oh, thanks. I love how things have changed in 3 years. Well, I was like, oh, damn, it actually happened. And 2 days later, I had a conference call with HR and my boss, and they said it was against policy to talk on social media about your job, i.e., at Walmart or whatever, and they fired my ass. They fired the hell out of me because my regional director and my old boss called Walmart, which is pretty funny when I think about it now. I actually made a video about this, and Clean Prince Gaming, he made a video about it, and that's kind of what blew my channel up, again, for like the third time. So that's pretty interesting. Never have I dealt with something like that. And then the same guy tried suing me. It was pretty interesting. It was a pretty interesting time to be alive. You can find that video on my thing. It's called GameStop Got Me Fired. I think that's what it's called. Check it out. It was a terrible time to be alive. Terrible ass time to be alive. My favorite thing about working at GameStop, because my retail stories usually come from there because I worked there for 11 years, but my favorite thing ever is something they don't do anymore that I don't think they do, and that's midnight releases. Because we stopped doing midnight releases at the end of the career there. The end of my career. Midnight releases, man. We get pizza. We get barbecue. I'd slather it all over my face. There'd be hundreds of people in the store. We'd do tournaments and stuff. It was usually a good time. Well, one time, it backfired because it was Call of Duty Black Ops. And we had like over 1,000 reserves for it at my tiny ass store. So as the time drew near, there was about 800 people at my store, and we had to kind of make them hang out outside. So I got like a rib truck to show up. I got another truck to show up. We had a tournament with an 18-wheeler. It was cool as hell. Lo and behold, one of my favorite customers comes in. His name is Kevin. I'm not going to elaborate. He had a good heart, but he was awful. I hope he's not watching. He was awful. Like I said, he had a good heart, but God, he sucked. Well, anyways, he wanted to be in the tournament, so of course I put him in the tournament. And he goes up in there, and he's confident as hell because he's always talking about how good he is at Call of Duty. And there's a sneaking suspicion in the back of my mind that he's not, because I know him. He goes up in that bus and gets his ass stomped. Stomped! Oh my God, dude. He gets stomped so hard. Dude, it's unbelievable. He was like a small Asian man. And the guy he played was the bomb used on Hiroshima. Is that too soon? Can I make that joke? So he gets wrecked. By the time we get to the end of the match, Kevin's crying. All right, so I got to put that out there. Kevin's crying, hysterically crying, like sobbing. And he gets beat, and he storms off the bus and is slamming shit. And he runs into a guy. Guy gets pissed, punches Kevin in the side of the head. Kevin falls, and I'm having to run out there and jump on everybody because Kevin's psycho as hell. So I have to save Kevin as he cries, and I take him into the store, and he's claiming the guy screen cheated or whatever. So to console Kevin, I tell him I'll just give him a bye and he can go to the next round, and I'll just make a tree for his ass. So I made a tree for Kevin. He immediately cheers up, and he's all good. It's all good. Little did I know that there was also another bomb going towards Nagasaki. So he gets on the bus again, boys. I made the joke again. I apologize. He gets on the bus again, and he gets two ginormous, just sweaty testicles drug across his face. Just immediately gets his ass beat so hard that you can't even recognize his ass after he gets to the hospital. Like, he was just dead as hell. And of course, you know what he does again? He cries. He cries again. And I have to tell him it's over, man. I have to tell him it's over. He told me he was dating a supermodel, and I don't even know why he thought he was dating a supermodel. This is unrelated. This is unrelated. Dude, Kevin sucked. But he was all right. But he sucked, dude. God, he sucked, man. God, he was a sucky suck.